Hello, and welcome back to the studio. I'm Dr. Wiggo, and today we're going to talk about, is the MacBook Neo too successful? Can you be too successful? Well, let's look into that, shall we? I mean, we know the MacBook Neo is a hit. Tim Cook said that it was the best launch week ever. That's a hint. Trading Key said that the Neo could be up to 10% of the $32 billion entry-level laptop market. That's $3.2 billion right there. And that could drive Apple's stock price towards the $320 target. It's currently $260 as of this taping. We also know MacBook Neo is a hit because here we are 1 month later and it's up to 3 weeks lead time if you want to order one. All these stories I'm popping up next to my head I will link down below so you can go read them. TrendForce is projecting that Apple is going to sell 4 to 5 million units of the MacBook Neo. And Mac Daily News says that the production could double to 10 million units. Apple only shipped 25 million Macs in 2025, so that would be a big shift upwards. But it may be limited by how many they can make. Here's Apple's problem. Tim Culpen, a former Bloomberg reporter based in Taipei, I'll link his story down below, explains that the reason the Neo is so cheap is the A18 Pro chip, which we already knew, but notably binned versions of the chip, so basically free. If you don't know what a bin chip is, when they make the A18 Pro chips, sometimes like one of the GPU cores won't be any good, and so they can't use it in the phone. So they just throw it in a bin, hence bin chips. So they have all these A18 Pro chips that have 5 good GPU cores, but not 6, so they can't use them in the phones. So essentially these are free. These are things they made that they can't use for what they made them for, so now they can maybe repurpose them into the MacBook Neo, which is exactly what they did. But here's the problem with being too successful. They're going to run out of them. They may not have enough to meet the demand that they did not expect for the MacBook Neo. And this is a problem because the A18 Pro is built on TSMC's sold-out 3nm process, the N3E. So getting more would be very expensive because they'd have to go back and make them. You can't just order bin chips. They'd have to make a whole bunch of chips, and it would be very expensive, and they wouldn't be able to make the profit that they're making on the MacBook Neo with the current chips. So what's the solution? Well, the A19 Pro chip is used in the iPhone 17 Pro, which has 20 to 60% higher sales than the iPhone 16 Pro, depending on who you listen to. Well, that means there will be even more bin chips available with the A19 Pro. So one thing Apple could do is accelerate the next version of the MacBook Neo, the one that will use the A19 Pro chip instead of the A18 Pro. And the A19 Pro chip has 12 gigabytes of memory on it, so that will get rid of one of the sticking points with the A18 Pro chip with the 8 gigabytes of memory. Even though, as countless YouTube videos have shown, the Mac OS is so much better with memory management than Windows that 8 gigabytes is not as big a deal as it would be on Windows. So that's the problem Apple is facing. Can a product be too successful? The MacBook Neo could be Apple's most successful laptop ever, maybe even their most successful Mac ever. So it's going to be sticking around a while. And Culpen, in his full analysis, which I will link down below so you can go read it, says that the replacement cycle for MacBook Neo may be more like 2 to 3 years, like iPhones, instead of the 5 to 7 years, like MacBooks. Well, if that's true, Windows budget laptops are heading into some really turbulent waters. Apple could become the budget laptop king, and that will be a big problem for a lot of Windows laptops. Even if they sell 10 million MacBook Neos on top of their 25 million Macs, they're still going to be in 4th place because Dell sells like 41 million, but they'll be getting closer. So now we just have to wait and see. Can Apple pull this off? Can they bring out the new model by the end of the year or maybe January of next year to get the cycle going again? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Bye-bye, and I promise next week will not be about the MacBook Neo, unless something amazing happens. Thanks for staying to the end. Bye-bye.